What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast. Today, we have a very special guest. He's a friend. He was my manager at one point.
Hey.
Woo! He
Hey
is
now.
a strong leader. He is part of the Equinox family. This man is a tremendous educator. He is also a great person. I don't know what else to say. He is also on the NCSF team, and he's also joining the Ppsc team. This guy is doing it all. Please help me welcome Arlen Guerrero. How's it going, brother?
Good, man. You rolled the R's better than Joshua.
Ooh, you already know.
Well, I'm a gringo, man.
We are both gringos. I'm just a Latin gringo. Just so
You're a Latin gringo?
Yeah, man.
No
Jesus.
Spanish? You don't speak Spanish?
You know what? It's not as good as my English. I'll put it to you that way. So that's a goal of mine. I realized that I turned down like 2 job opportunities because I didn't speak Spanish fluently to teach. So imagine you doing your training sessions but in Spanish. So
it's challenging.
Anthony, you do that. You do that now, right?
I've done those, and I even have one person now who I do the business coaching, and they speak English, but they love speaking Spanish. That's their first language, but they speak English pretty fine. But we catch each other sometimes just talking in Spanish because that's their primary language. So it's funny, but I like it because it really does help keep even my Spanish stronger. But I remember back in the training days, you know, when you would get those either Brazilian or Colombian clients, and they only speak Spanish.
Yeah, man. It's
was that your forte, man? The Colombian and
that's it. That's all he trained.
It was my forte. How about Josh, huh?
I mean, obviously, everyone knows that they're my forte.
What was your favorite Spanish word with your clients?
I only know bad words in Spanish. Those are the only words I know.
That's it. He can go down the laundry list.
You get screamed at by an Argentinian ex-wife enough, you're going to know all of the bad words.
Oh,
well, that's a good thing. You had time to learn at least pretty decent.
in the doghouse.
Yeah.
In the doghouse.
So how have things been, man, for you? Everything good up there? You're in Chicago. It's got to be getting cold.
You know, I was talking to someone the other day, and that I think like my life felt like it changed overnight. I think living in Miami for 15 years, from like 2004 to 2019, it's a different way of life. And I was 18 when I moved there for college. I was like a knucklehead, you know? So Chicago's the Midwest. There's a Midwest charm here that I'm getting used to, because when you're from Miami, it's a little different. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. So from how you handle your personal training sessions, and random people say hi to you and they want to know how's your day going. And
yeah, you don't get that down here a lot.
No, someone says hi, I'm like, what are you trying to sell me right now? So
yeah, exactly. All right, come on, just get it out.
You're not
let's get it.
Your clients, huh?
Just get it out, man. Come on,
get it out. Give me your pitch.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, but it's been really great. I gotta admit, there's a lot of things I'm very fortunate about, especially after COVID.
100%. Yeah. And I wanted to actually ask you about that, because, you know, you being a manager, working for a corporate company, being known Equinox, which most people know what Equinox is. And it's a very successful gym, you know, for any, you know, new coach who's starting their career. Definitely you want to get your feet wet. And if you are, it'll be at Equinox. They will teach you everything. And I'm not just saying that to say that's the truth. But with that being said, I know it was definitely a struggle, because I've also spoke to a lot of other Equinox coaches. I know we kind of spoke about this a little bit off the camera, you know, on certain conversations on our own. How did that impact you when you first got notice that the gyms were going to be closed and everything was just up in the air?
I think my ego was really hit hard, because your legs are cut from under you, right? So being an educator, right, with NCSF, mean that I can't do that, right? I can't go nationally and teach workshops, so there's no flying, and there's no online content for them that I would teach in a Zoom. I realized that it wasn't as good as I thought I was in delivering virtual training options. So my client list wasn't ready to be virtual. And then I also realized I didn't do a good job of preparing the team, like my own team, to prepare to take on the business. At the time I had 60 trainers. So I had 2 clubs here. So one at the Loop and one at Gold Coast. And, I realized that there was a lot of things I needed to put a priority in so that I can be prepared for it, So it definitely impacted me in a way that I was like, man, I got caught backpedaling, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't ready to take this on. And I think we can all say that, right? If we were going to do it all over again, it would be hindsight 2020. And it took me a week or two. I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make this work? And I ended up getting a position to like some work to work on an app to help deliver workouts and programming. So I brought in some cash doing that. I started changing my mindset on how am I going to help trainers, and just really just giving them the notion that like, hey, we're going through this together. A little bit of vulnerability. That took a lot. So,
how was that? A couple of questions here. How was that shift for you in mindset? What were some of the thoughts that were going through your head, and how did you find a way, or what way did you find to get the trainers that are working under you at Equinox to be prepared in case, something does happen again where we have to lock down?
Like right now? Are you asking, Josh?
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we've had about, I'll say 60% of our trainers leave. So, our staff has been cut in half. And really it was doing 3 things and really just sticking to 3 values. And I'm going to get to like, what's the mindset that happened. But the 3 value is creating opportunity with business, whatever that is. If for whatever person is in front of me, how am I going to create an opportunity for you? 2, can I educate that person so that post-COVID, do they have the skills to deliver the training session, the communication, as well as the confidence in delivering their product? And then finally, the positivity, the morale. So how can I create a positive atmosphere when people are wearing masks and there's no visual recognition that someone's smiling? That, hey, like, even though you're 6 feet away, like, this is my virtual pump, like, great job today, or whatever it is, right? And honestly, the mindset, my thoughts were very much like, I don't know if I could do this. Like, I don't know. So I searched, I can't tell you how many times I watched the Jocko or Goggins motivational video on the way to work.
Legendary, those 2 guys.
Yeah. And
you need a little motivation. You go right to them.
Yeah. I put on Good from Jocko, like, I think 50 times. I don't know. It just allowed me to create this not victimless attitude, and that we're just going to get 1% better. And that's really what we did. We were just like, hey, we're just going to get 1% better today. Maybe I make a trainer happy. Maybe I pick up a new client. Maybe we get someone in the door. Maybe I have a great workout. I don't care. And that really helped.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you kind of brought that up at the end there, right? About thinking of personal wins as, overall wins, right? Because, Americans are defined by work and work ethic.
Yeah.
But that comes at a detriment of like our self-care and what we're doing in order to make sure that we can get the most out of work while we are there, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so important that people realize that, like you said, even me getting a call, and we talk about this all the time, like every chance that we get where we can actually get a good workout in, we're like, fuck, man, I feel, like I needed that.
Yeah.
I really needed that. And now I have that added boost to kind of get more motivation or get more focus and move forward through my day. So thank you for bringing that up, man, because it is really important. How have your trainers, received that information, that coaching from you?
I think the best way to explain this, guys, I went through a huge personal transition after I was at Coral Gables. And really what happened was I started realizing that you need to build some integrity and values on what you want and be consistent as possible. And that will allow you to build a team or a culture of people that want to work for you. So it's like saying, like, why are the Patriots great? It's not the players, it's the system. So I look at it as like that. It's like, okay, if I treat it like I'm Bill Belichick, then I'm going to have some players that are going to do really well with me. And I'm going to have some players that are like, I can't stand you. Like, this is not working. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, we're going to find a compromise, or, you know, I'm sorry, this is just the way we're running the team within the confines of Equinox. And it has rubbed some feathers the wrong way, but it always ends up in the long term building a really, really strong group of trainers that want to work together for one purpose. And the response has been great, you know, for the trainers that are great. And the ones that haven't, I take the feedback into consideration and try not to be reactionary, because you're not going to make everyone happy. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's like I tell people all the time, you know, you try to serve everybody, you don't serve anybody. So you got to find who you're here to serve and work with those people and grow with those people. And I wanted to ask you, with that being said, what defines your type of culture? Because I know at the end of the day, you know, you're still under the umbrella of Equinox. There's certain parameters and things you guys have to follow and rules and set standards. But what makes your culture different at your location, the team you run, than all the other teams and all the other managers' locations that they run?
That's a big question, Anthony. I hope this doesn't go all over.
Coming with the heaters for the legend himself.
Oh, man.
Come on, man. We know you too well. We're not tossing softballs over here.
No. All right, I'll make it easy. So honestly, it bears down to grit. And what do I mean by that? So a lot of people come to Equinox and they're like, I have this passion, I want to help people. Everyone says that when you're in front of me. You had 8 hours of sleep, you eat breakfast, you have money in the bank, you haven't been rejected yet, and you're ready to impress me. And what happens is, you know, over time, that passion tends to decrease and there's no persistence. And there was this book that I read by Angela Duckworth, Grit. And
I love that book.
She talks about, passion times persistence equals grit. And what happens is there's a high level of passion and that persistence does not occur because there's too many challenges along the way. And they're like, oh, I really don't like helping people that much. I haven't slept. I don't have as much money in my bank account. I got rejected 10 times. And that's just part of life. Like, I don't know what position that's going to drive the results you're looking for financially and emotionally and spiritually that you're going to have no like roadblocks. So I think I really try to drive that home, everyone. I'm like, what do you want to do here? Like, why are you here? And then, you know, what are some challenges that are coming across your way and how are we going to move that? And there's no fluff. I think that's what I lack. I think that's an opportunity for me, but I don't fluff anything. And I'm like, look, your conversion rate is 30%. You haven't been working out. You're in a bad mood when you're in your sessions. Like, what's going on? And, you know, it's not sunshine and rainbows, but when things are great, things are great. I'm going to, you know, buy you breakfast. I'm going to buy you coffee. We're going to have a good time here, but we need to get to that point. You need to earn that.
And I think that's very important. I think also at the same time, you see what me and Josh talking about all the time. We actually mentioned our last podcast, but you know, there's a difference too between like, you know, there's things you don't like to do and what you love. And you got to understand that you have to do certain things that you don't like regardless to be able to get the accomplishment you want because you love it so much. And you have to be willing to take those hits so you can get that beautiful result that you wanted. But I feel like a lot of people, the moment they get a taste of that unknown, that uncomfortability, it's like, oh my God, I don't like this anymore. This sucks. This is not for me. And it's not that it's not for you. It's just, you don't know how to deal with uncomfortability and you don't want to do it. And I think there's a lot of people who actually give up sometimes on some big opportunities, some things that they really loved. And they give up on it because they got a taste of that uncomfortability. They got a taste of being, you know, in the unknown because this is not what they regularly knew, or they never got hit that the way they got hit in that situation, and it pushes them off. So what are some of the things you do as far as like, I know you read, you obviously naming some
you can
books.
read?
Man, I got the alphabet down during Yeah.
But what are some of the sources and what are some of the things you teach your coaches whenever they experience these moments, these tribulations, these, you know, freak out freakouts that might steer them the direction that you don't feel that they should be steered, or that it's actually going to take them off course and not focused in? What are some of these tools that you use and sources you give them?
Yeah, I think I use some motivational interviewing more than anything, and like just a really important tact is just to be curious. I think the hard part as managers, especially when you've been to 6 clubs, 2 states, you're like, okay, I know it already, right? And we don't. Everyone's a little different. And being able to just work through like, hey, like tell me more. And they just need to talk through stuff and organize their thoughts, the pros, the cons, ambivalence, and then as well as like, okay, let's say you don't work here. What would that do? And let's say you are hitting 150 sessions. What does that do? And it's crazy because I start to realize, at least recently, some people are scared of being successful. Mm-hmm. They're overwhelmed about their time. And I think Tim Ferriss does a really good job in 4-Hour Workweek, not to work 4 hours, but just how to allocate your time to things that are important.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm still working through on how to teach, because I had a trainer tell me today, he's like, yeah, I set aside 2 hours to work out. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? 2 hours? Like, what? Like, I know you're not powerlifting, so what are we doing? So, and it's like, I can't insult this person. I can't do that. That's his reality. That's his truth. So working through with some curiosity is really helpful.
Yeah. And, Equinox is one of those companies too, where like, if you really want to maximize your time and you want to crank out some sessions, like they're going to, they're not going to hold you back. They're going to let you do it, which is great. I mean, we've all been in that position, the 3 of us, where, doing 150 to, even 200 sessions. And you're right. Like it does, once you get to, everyone thinks like, oh, I want to make the most amount of money and I want to do this. And it's like, I mean, we've mentioned this guy before on the podcast before, but someone like David Rochefort, like, dude's a robot.
He's blending his food. He's blending his salmon.
Blending his food in order to be able to go like eat it quicker and then go back to his sessions. Like I've never seen someone like that, but his work ethic is incredible. And the dude makes a ton of money and he does a great job for Equinox. Yeah. But looking at him, I was like, okay, I want to do that. And then I finally hit 200 sessions 1 month and I was like, I'm good. Like I'm good on this. Like, okay, I did it. I checked that box. I hit 200 sessions. Like, I don't need to go back to this anymore. Like I need to figure out a way to reallocate my schedule so that I can do what is best for me. Right. Because I thought that my form of success was going to be, cranking out sessions and doing what David was doing, until I realized like, I don't want to be blending my food or inhaling it in 30 seconds and going back to sessions, So I really do think that, as you were saying, people are unafraid of being successful, but I don't think a lot of people understand what success means for them as an individual. Mm-hmm. How do you go about teaching, younger trainers who maybe are just getting started or even the members that you work with, right? Like what is success defined in your book? How do you pull that out of people?
Yeah, I think I'm really with I would say with newer trainers, I tell them that right now you're process driven. And they're like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, you said that you want to do 10 grand a month, right? So that's typically a certain amount of sessions. And I'm like, well, that's great. Right now, can we honestly say that you have the capacity to program, work out, take care of your loved one, and travel to work, as well as make sure you're training these clients all in the right now? And they're like, absolutely not. And I'm like, okay, so let's work on some core values that you need to do daily, like a daily practice, to make sure that you're able to do this, right? And again, it's kind of like I'm setting them up for failure, because they're like, oh, no, I'm gonna set up my programming. And I'm like, okay, well, where are you programming? You program in the break room because people are going to interrupt you. When are you working out? Are you working out with intention, or are you just or are you just randomly doing it, right? So I try my best to get an outcome goal for them. I think that's important to hear them out. And I'm like, hey, staple this on your locker or something, right? I print it out for them. And then we got to think of some habits for them to build, right? Because people fall back on programming. People don't sleep enough. People aren't taking care of themselves. I'm a huge advocate. If you're in the best shape of your life, you're usually a pretty good trainer at that point, as long as you have some level of being humble. right? Some people do go too far on one end that they're only concerned about themselves, not their clients. That also happens.
I really love that you brought this up, and I wanted to ask you from something that Josh said, and you kind of touch upon the overall health and success of the well-being of your workout, having, you know, time for your loved ones, you know, your money, all that stuff, which is important. Knowing that there are top producers and freak producers like we have experienced at Equinox, like Josh mentioned, and he hitting those sessions. We obviously know that all managers and obviously, you know, in the corporate setting, there's numbers to be hidden. You need to hit numbers, you get bonuses, you hit certain levels, it looks good, it makes that club prosper. When do you know as a manager when you might have to step in with a trainer who might be just over accessing himself because he's just doing way too many sessions, and now he's not taking care of his body, he's not making time for maybe his love for himself, and he's going to crash, burn out, and then it might go south? When do you as a manager step in and you tell them, look, it's okay if you need to do less sessions, but start paying attention to you?
I think it's a little bit to Josh's point, like, what's your success, right? If you're like, I was questioning someone today because they're like, yeah, I want to be successful as a trainer financially. I'm like, okay, what is that? And I'm like, she's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, but let's say you hit that, right? You're going to be the same person when you hit that. So does that mean you're happy, or does that mean you're just going to want to be a little bit above that and a little bit above that? Because then you're really not heading a destination. Like you're really just like on a treadmill. There's no path. So it's really defining like that why behind that. And then after that is, you know, taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture. Like, are you able to handle this? Like Josh said, he wasn't able to handle 200 sessions after a month. It's like, how sustainable is this for the next 6 months? And most of the answers are no, I can't do that. And the ones that have said they can, you know, I told you so is probably in order at that point. They'll come in my office, right? And I'm just look at them and I'm like, what did I say? And he was like, just let it happen. Say it. I'm like, I told you so, you know? And that's okay though. I think all trainers need to go through these peaks and valleys of like, they need their own medicine. You know, I'm sorry. Like I tell people, like, hit 200 once, hit 160 once, and then come back.
Yeah. It's rough.
But I think you bringing this matter up, I think it's super important, especially to hear it from a manager standpoint, because, you know, and I'm not saying all, but you know, you're going to get those managers who just want to drive numbers, who want to try to pull from their trainers and like, no, keep pushing more. You could do more. And it's just like, and that's what I love about you, man. And I remember even experiencing you at the club, and it was just, you know, that assertiveness of, hey, how are you doing? You know, are you feeling good? You know, are you happy? Did you get your workout in? You know, are you happy with your numbers? Are you not? You know, what do you need? You know, and I know off the bat, obviously we knew in personal that we hung out and got together as well, but you always cared about the individual, you know, even first, I think above anything, because you knew that if you cared about the individual, the numbers would come, and you'll find that number that makes sense for them to actually, you know, hit in the first place. Because if you go to think about it, if you're driving, great, you might hit a few numbers for a certain point, and then you burn out and you're crashing. Now you're barely hitting any numbers. Or, you know, you're going the opposite where they're so scared and now they're not hitting any numbers at all. But if you've kind of helped them to just be happy, then at least, man, they're full time hitting a good set of numbers, and everybody across the board is putting their fair share. And I got to give kudos to you on that, because, you know, it's one of those things where you come across, you know, a manager like yourself. That's where you see, you know, trainers grow, clubs grow, and you see a balance all around.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I have to admit, and this is like the utmost truth, that's something I'm working with here, that it's a little bit of the opposite. My mentality in Miami was very welcoming and warm. Just moving to Chicago, it's too intense for some people. Like, they feel like I need to spend a little bit more time with how you doing. What does that look like? What'd you do this weekend? Did you pick apples? Like, it's just different for me, right? So I'm not gonna lie to you. And I think it's great. I think I got my own medicine where I thought I was good at that, but I need to be better. And what I will say though is, you know, the success of any team, as much as we want to say it's numbers, guys, like, I could care less what that end budget is, because if really you look at that number, it's pretty like ambiguous. Like, who cares? Because if I get 10 trainers to pick up 2 clients, we got 20 extra clients for the month.
Yep.
That's what I care about.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I'm just going to get bogged down staring at my budget for the month. Like, it just doesn't, because then you just end up like looking at trainers as numbers and like, oh, this person could do this. And it doesn't help like on the daily grind at all. So.
And it's kind of funny that you mentioned that because, I've been in the position before. I'm not going to throw anyone under the bus, but I've been in the position before working under a manager, which is a surprise for me. Usually I'm the first one to like, oh, there's more room under there for you. You're good.
Yeah.
I think we can squeeze you in there. But,
oh, man.
Where I was like, I know I'm doing really, I think I was hitting like 145 sessions, maybe a little over that. And I'm like, I think you could pick up one more two people. Yeah. But like, I want to be able to do all this extra stuff. I want to get more into my social media. We could really use you to pick up a couple. It's like, but I'm telling you that not only do I not want to do that, I have other interests and I might get burnt out, like you were saying before, So
yeah,
I think there really is that balance between figuring out like, okay, well, what's best for the company and the bottom line and what's best for the trainer, because at some point, like if we get too far into one area or the other, then, someone's going to be upset. But if we find a happy balance, then, eventually when they are ready to take that next step and they are ready to, maybe continue building their business, then you can really reach out and be like, okay, you're ready to go. Now's the time. I got the things that you need to do, and you can move forward from there.
Yeah. You can't tell LeBron to play harder. Like, it's not going to help.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
listen, I appreciate the analogy between me and LeBron, right?
Look what you did, bro. Look what you did. Oh, shit. Now I'm going to
Hold on. I think I need to pull my headphones out a little more.
Yeah, his mic. Oh, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think you're totally right. I mean, I've caught myself plenty of times, and I've apologized. I'm like, man, that was really selfish of me. I shouldn't have asked that, right? I think it's everyone has a management style. I walked in to a management style by one of our good friends, Josh Todd, and we're just opposite. We're friends. We're just opposite in the leadership board. And Todd is very good with that. Like, he's very good with checking in with you, following up. He goes that triple mile, like just extra. And I just don't like, I don't know. It's just different, So,
well, he's from Michigan, right? So,
oh yeah, no,
he's born and bred, corn fed, man.
Yeah. I mean, he got married at Spartan Stadium.
Yeah.
Big boy.
I mean, come on.
I know. We've been trying to figure out a time we can get him and Katie on the podcast.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. That's I don't, man. He just told me he's moving to Detroit. He moved to Detroit. I'm like, well, bro, you just picked the coldest cities in America to live in. Like, you moved from Miami to Chicago, then to
it just gets colder.
To New York, and now in Detroit. Like,
next is Equinox opens one up in
Alaska.
Yeah, he's gonna end up there for sure.
Oh man.
So brother, I gotta ask you, what have you been up to recently with the certifications that the companies that you're working for with NCSF and Ppsc?
Yeah.
What
Congratulations on that, by the way, man. Huge thing for
you. Thank you.
Huge. So
appreciate it, man.
projects?
Yeah, it's been weird. And when I say weird, it's because everything happened at once. So at Equinox, as you guys know, there's a Tier X program. So it's an escalated, elevated program pertaining to personal training. It's more geared around coaching and like taking more data, specifically around like metabolic rate, active metabolic rate testing, rest metabolic rate. So I pretty much, started that last December. And with that, I also had John Russin, Ppsc, come and teach. And we were staying in contact like every month, like just on Facebook and like Instagram, social media.
It's amazing.
And yeah, he's awesome. He's intense.
He came on the podcast a while back.
Yeah.
I know. I listened to that one. He's super. I was like, man, did you breathe?
Bro, we were so hyped. We're like, man, I feel like I need to fucking run through a wall right now. Like,
work out.
Yeah, he does that.
And I definitely need to work on my public speaking.
Fantastic.
He's unbelievable.
So he did just an amazing job just staying in touch. You know, he's just that guy. And he allowed, you know, really one of his educators to come to Chicago. I filled it up as far as with trainers to show up and do the workshop. And we pretty much, you know, he knows that I taught and stuff like that. He has that understanding. And then, you know, the way I conducted myself in both workshops and my interactions with him, he pretty much said like, hey, listen, like I would love to offer you an opportunity. I didn't want to poach, but now that Equinox is a very different Equinox, he's like, would you be interested? And I'm like, absolutely. And there's a lot behind that though, guys. So we, you know, I had to go to like 4 different workshops after that to come extremely familiar with the material. And then I was on Zoom calls like 1 or 2 times a week practicing the information. So, you know, what you see at the workshop, the final product, comes with a laundry list of like check boxes. Like, can he deliver the information? Is he likable? Does he like speak with conviction? You know, can he drive analogies? You know, is he funny? And that was great. You know, having John do that, his director of education, Cliff Harsky. So it's been a ride doing that. And then Tier X,
it's awesome.
Mixing them together. And then
I see those biceps are getting a little bigger. You've been really putting in the work with Ppsc.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So what were some of those? What were some of the takeaways you took from Ppsc? What have you added on into? Yeah,
because we took it a little while back when they were down here.
Yeah.
It's great, absolutely great certification, by the way, for anyone who wants to learn.
Yeah.
You know, a tried and true system on strength and performance. You guys got to check out one of these certifications because they are information packed, but very digestible and ready to use right away.
Simple too.
I think that's exactly what it is. Like what you guys just said, it's not specific dogma, right? It's not a kettlebell. It's not a barbell course. It's not a mace course. It's a course to help develop a systematic approach to create an individualized program so this person can maximize their performance. It just so happens that this approach allows pain to be alleviated. That's it. That's really all it does. And I've utilized it with warm-ups, specifically myself. Right?
My favorite warm-up now. My favorite warm-up.
Yeah, it's my go-to.
What was it? What was on fire the other day? You said your
my lats were on fire from those like activation pull downs. Like, why am I fucking my delts and my lats? I'm like, oh, those pull downs. I was like, that warm-up.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but you're still
at least there's no running. At least there's no heavy running. If not, Josh would.
No, I mean there's like a couple. I mean there's like some sprinting in there that you can do. You know. But short distance, man. Short distance, powerful. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, I'm off the marathon game, guys.
Yeah, I ran 2 during COVID. More for you.
That's it.
No, man. I ran 2 during COVID. I was like, I'm done. Like I need to back off a little bit.
And what made you want to do that, man? Because it's not like that, you know, there weren't any marathons going on. You just decided like, okay, I'm just going to go run 23.2 miles twice.
I'm gonna do virtual
26.2.
Come on,
26.2. Jesus, how did I fuck that up? 26.2. Those last 3 are the most important.
Yeah, I had a 50-mile race planned in October.
Oof.
So they canceled it.
You're like, fuck it, double it, twice.
Double it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I took You Can't Hurt Me with Goggins, and I took it to the next level.
I mean, what a savage that guy is, by the way. He just came in second in the Moab race. That's unbelievable.
Who came in first?
Pretty crazy.
I know some absolute insane.
Someone that's absolutely insane.
Someone who just like headbutts brick walls for a living.
Because David Goggins is on another level. Who the hell is this other guy?
Remarkable.
Yeah, man. He did a double Ironman, which I still don't understand.
I don't even understand why you want to put yourself through that.
I don't know.
Some people are like that.
I mean, I just saw something. What was it, Tuesday? Like the guy that Katie taught swimming, Jesse Itzler, right? I probably butchered his last name, but you know, he's like, oh, we're just gonna do like a random Ironman on a Tuesday to like see if we can do it. Like what?
What? He had Goggins live with him for a month.
Oof, that's right, he did.
Sick.
That's right.
And Joe Rogan's podcast, he was on there explaining it. I have his book. I haven't read the book. I have the book. I haven't read it. Go figure.
Yeah, I listened to him on Rogan's podcast. That was quite the episode.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, amazing guy.
So Arlen, what's the biggest next step for you coming up in besides the certs, besides Equinox, what's the next biggest step for you besides those two things?
Filling out the rest of that shirt.
Woo!
Yeah, right.
The
I
gun
need to
show.
add another 20 pounds.
Hey, speaking about, I like the new attire. I like the new Equinox shirts, by the way.
Yeah, they're comfy.
The other ones are so awkward under the armpits. I was like,
outdoor in the heat. Don't want to wear these. It's so hot.
Well, good thing you're in Chicago then, man. You got like 9 more months now of the cold.
What are you talking about? My 10 layers that I wear to the bus stop? Yeah, not. Oh man, what's the next step, guys? I don't know.
Moving back down here, hopefully for our sake. We miss you, man.
Hey, yeah, that would be great. Another time going out, throwing some weights around.
Hey, you'll be the one guy bringing all that love back to Miami. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Hey.
Listen. From my standpoint, that fades away after like maybe 4 years. People. All my friends now are like, "Man, you're pretty short with this." Like, if you lived in Miami, you would understand.
That's 100%. That's just how we.
You used to be so nice. You used to be the nicest person. Now you're just such an ass.
So I'm originally from New York, Josh. I went to Catholic school. I had all these manners, and going to Miami. I'll give you one example. So you moved from Miami, first week in Chicago. I'm walking with my dogs with my girlfriend, and she's a Chicago native. And I'm walking my dogs, and people are like, "Oh, let me see your dog." And I'm like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, get away from my dog." And they're like, "We just want to say hi." And I'm like, "What do you want to sell me? Like, those dogs aren't yours; they're my dogs." They're like, "Yeah, we just want to say hi." And my girlfriend hits me. She's like, "Why are you being rude?" And I'm like, "I don't know. They're trying to take the dog." She's like, "No, it's normal. It's Sunday. People are walking around." And I'm like, "Oh."
This is what the rest of America is like.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm an ass. Yeah, I mean, I guess to answer the question, I would love to go back to Miami if Lisette was ever to decide not to move forward with Equinox. I'm not saying she's going to, but like if that's what she decides to do, and that's a position that's open for me, or that's a position that's allotted for me, my girlfriend and I put our name in. If we want to go for a potential career move to London.
Well, you told me that.
That would be epic.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
She's still with Equinox? She's still with Equinox?
Yeah, she's the general manager for 2 clubs here as well. At Lincoln Common and Lincoln Park. Yeah.
You're not a big fan of Texas, huh?
I have nothing against Texas. It's just like, if I had to choose between London and Texas, it's going to be London.
Yeah, no state income tax in Texas, though, man.
I
don't know what the English tax system looks like, but we wouldn't have America today if it weren't terrible. So
This is true. Yeah, I don't know. We're planning to stay here another year or 2, and then see where the wind blows. It's pretty great.
All right, we'll keep a spare room in our apartments for you,
just
man.
in case.
Hey, keep it open. Keep it open. We'll be over there.
And Josh will be extra nice. We'll make sure.
Oh, I'm always nicer on Arlen, and I always have the best of times. The best of times. Too good of times.
We do have some awesome, like, I don't know, out of nowhere times where we're in the same place, same time. Just happened.
Even when you came to visit Miami, when you first went to Chicago, we ran into each other. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Super Bowl weekend. That was interesting. That was
was great.
I feel like we got off the plane, went somewhere, got back on the plane. Like it was literally that fast.
Well, but glad I got the opportunity to see you when you were here, man.
Yeah, man. Same year.
So brother, what would you say are the biggest things that you love about working at the Chicago Equinoxes versus working over here, and then vice versa as well?
Yeah, I can't throw any shade to the Miami people, so
you better not.
What I'm not going to. I would say, and this is like 100% honest, guys. I said this on another podcast. People care about their health here. Like truly, like if we talk about functional movement screen, they're 100% worried about their trunk stability push-up here, right? Miami.
So I gotta stop you guys. Then I guess it's bullshit that they gave Miami last year the healthiest city for 2020.
Oh man,
Arlen said it. It's not deflating. Now you didn't say that, but
I've always said Miami's full of a lot of flash and not a whole lot of bang, you know?
It's a lot of perception of health.
Skin deep. Skin deep.
All go, no show. All show, no go.
There you go.
That way. So here, everyone cares about their health. 100%. Like they're worried about their movement, nutrition, regeneration, and their work-life balance, and like really concerned about just living in Chicago. Like there's a whole lot of like just camaraderie here about being a part of this city. In Miami, it's like everyone fends for themselves. That's what I feel like as far as fitness, right? And then what I mean by that is like people here want to live a long time to be with their family and to hold their grandkids. Yep. And in Miami, it's much more vanity based and driven.
Paycheck to paycheck, so you can literally spend your money that you made at the club.
That's not further from, that's like 100% true. Like it is. So this is different, like in that sense, what I would say, like everyone needs a little bit of Chicago. Everyone needs a little bit of Miami in them at some capacity.
And that's Arlen.
I hope that answers it.
Arlen is the answer. A little bit of Chicago and a little bit of Miami.
Yeah. You can't go one-sided, and you're not like you guys who are actually pretty laid back. You can actually have a conversation. Then,
bro, let me tell you about this opportunity I have, man. I'm telling you, Bitcoin, I got
or Forex.
Oh man, Forex.
Let me throw Herbalife in there.
Oh man.
Listen, I got the perfect opportunity for you, man. It's like this thing where you just give me I give you some products and you give me some money, and then you sell it to your friends, and then they sell it to their friends. You're gonna be a millionaire, man. I promise you.
It sounds like undergrad. I was like, oh man, what is just keep pushing me on? Yeah, for sure. Man, that stuff.
How did you get your start in training? You went to school, like got your bachelor's and everything, or like what really made you get interested in fitness in the first place, and then you can take it from there.
Yeah, fitness for me was, I could say like this is like really going way back, is I was a fat kid growing up, really overweight.
I think we were all
chubby.
fat kids at one point.
Yeah. And you guys are gonna laugh.
Especially Todd.
Todd was a real fat kid, like big cheeks.
The real deal.
Yeah.
He was a ham from what is that?
I feel bad for his mom.
Oh man.
All that food.
Jeez.
I thought I ate a lot.
Well, I know I did eat a lot, so I did feel bad for my mom too.
But anyway, continue. We don't want to keep interrupting.
Yeah. I would like ride my bike and get McDonald's, pizza. Like I would get it all at the same time. And like not thinking anything of it, I would throw it in the trash can, and my dad would just make me, he's like, oh, you ate McDonald's? You ate pizza? We're going to go for a run. And like he would make me run miles on miles. And I'm like, I have two ways to look at this. Either I'm going to love running, despite him, or this is really going to suck. So I really started building a passion for that. I was younger. And then, I wanted to play professional baseball like anyone else. Like you guys probably had some professional sport you wanted to do. It didn't work out for me. I was captain of the baseball team, didn't make it at Florida National University as far as trying out. I was like, I'm done with it. And I was kind of lost for 3 years in college, guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys really found your passion right out of college, inside college, that is. It took me about my junior year, and I took one elective in strength and conditioning. And I fell in love with it. Switched my whole career over to that. It was like my 5th time switching my major.
Wow. So what was your other options?
So I was doing like criminal justice, computer science, political science, pre-physical therapy.
Sergeant Arlen.
Yeah. Thank God I didn't go that route. Yeah. So
especially now.
That didn't work. Oh man. Yeah. That wouldn't have gone well. So
wait, are they nice over there though?
What's
in
that?
Chicago?
The cops, are they nice? They're nice to you guys?
They're like anywhere you would be. Like depends how tenured that cop is. Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Yeah. It's been rough here these last few months.
Yeah, can imagine.
Yeah.
So you were at FIU, and then what happened after that?
Yeah, so at FIU, I took that elective in strength and conditioning. I met the owner of the NCSF. He was the CEO, but he was also in charge of the grad program there, teaching undergraduate classes. And he's basically really simple. He's like, hey, listen, like, this is something that if you're potentially interested in, you can switch your major from pre-physical therapy. In physical therapy, you're going to basically spend $80,000 to make 40 grand a year, and you're going to graduate 2 years later. So I was like, you sold me there. So I went ahead and
that was a Miami sale right there.
Oh man, he got me. He got me. He's another Northeasterner too. So he got me with that. And he said, come to office hours. This is what he told me. He's like, come to office hours at 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. every morning, Monday through Saturday. And I just go over like Olympic lifting, strength and conditioning, all the stuff that we learn, right, guys? And I would just show up. I was like, hey, if I changed my major, I would show up. And I was the only one that showed up. So after about 6 months, he saw that like I was extremely dedicated. He offered me a job at the NCSF, a paid internship. So I was getting credits and getting paid. And then after about a year, they didn't let me answer the phone at the NCSF because they felt I needed to work on my communication skills. It's a cool little fact. They started grooming me to start teaching at the NCSF, which is, personal training and all that.
Right. I mean, with me, I went the PT, the pre-PT route too. And it was even before I got to college, right? I was in high school and one of my teachers was like, well, you should just go intern with, there's like a local place in my town. The second they started like rubbing all of that I always fuck this word up, that gel that they rub on like the old people. I was like, not for me. I'm out. I'm like, and then she was like, well, I think you can take like this strength and conditioning route. You can train athletes. I was like, that sounds much, much better.
It's like, there we go.
Much
but
better.
then you heard about the pay.
Oh yeah. And then I got to grad school. And I realized like, what do you mean you get paid $28,000 a year?
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah.
I'm like, I'm not. And then seeing my boss at FAU go through three head coaching changes for football and like, almost lose his job. He at the time he had 2 small boys and a wife. And I was like, well, this is going to suck if this is my life. And I got to move to North Dakota and then like bounce around and go to like Mankato and, like bumblefuck Louisiana. Like I'm good. I'll stay in Miami.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like, I've had a few trainers that are like, oh, I want to be a strength coach. I'm like, you do realize you make more than a strength coach right now at Equinox. And that's tough, man. Like you
have to really,
I don't know. I don't.
Yeah. I made more in my first full year at Equinox than my boss at FAU was making.
That's insane.
I guess he loves it.
I guess. I don't think he's in the field anymore, but
yeah.
But it's great. I mean, he had been in the field like 15 years. Was a head strength coach for the Tampa Bay Lightning, was at the University of Minnesota under Cal Dietz. Like, had done a lot. I'm like, once I got to Equinox and I started making money, I'm like, man, really, like, that definitely wasn't the route to go for me.
I think I like the money more than the athletes.
I mean, the money helps pay my bills. I don't necessarily think like the athletes doing some squats.
Yeah, I think there's a line, right? I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think $75,000 is supposed to give you everything you need. That's probably went up, but anything beyond that, it's not going to make you happier. I will challenge that and say that there's certain things that we want to accommodate ourselves to do more, and that requires us to pay more. Like, hey, I want someone to clean my house every week, so that's going to give me 2 hours in my day every week. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think like there's a certain point where you got to love what you do, and there's a certain amount of money that you should be paid if you're really good at it.
And I think too, depending on the city you live in, makes a big difference too. Obviously,
New York, LA,
like New
Chicago,
York, Miami, LA, exactly, LA, Chicago. You shoot, even making a little bit under 100, you're like, oh, this is hard. Yeah,
I can't go to Prime on 12 every weekend like I want to. Making 6 figures. That sounds like so douchey. Yeah.
Shoot.
Hey,
me with a family,
Josh,
I definitely cannot be making.
With a girlfriend or a wife down here in Miami, woo.
Josh, I'll just say for both of you guys that it is expensive being a dude in Miami. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah,
so
I'm going through it again now, man. Trust me, I'm going.
Oh man,
Maybe being married wasn't so bad. She took a lot of money, but not this much.
So those are the managers on there pushing for the extra bonuses.
Yeah. They're like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. You're gonna marry this Argentinian girl who doesn't speak English. Come on, man.
Come on, man. Josh, do that extra session.
Don't you want that? You're gonna need that bonus money.
That's it. See Josh at 11. I'm like, Josh, come on. Didn't you want a bottle this week?
Oh, come on, man. You know me. You know me better than that. You know I'm more of a space guy than an 11 guy.
Oh,
I'm about the duration. You know, I'm about the duration, not the impact.
And now Josh is the DJ.
Oh yeah, I've been spinning a little bit, man. You gotta listen. Not too
Really?
Father figure over
not
here.
Not too bad.
Right?
Not too bad. I'm learning.
I love it.
That DJ name, father figure.
Father figure.
So
It's so bad.
feel so bad for anyone that becomes my kid. But listen, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you got to go help a bunch of young trainers and really, you know, accomplish great things. We miss you, man. You gotta
miss you
hopefully
too.
come down soon. We gotta come. We're gonna try to figure out a trip up to Chicago. So we'll be up there. Not in the winter time. We're gonna come in the summertime for sure. Where can people find you on social media or you know, anywhere that they can contact you at?
Yeah, I mean, social media is probably the fastest, and I guess the one that you get more immediate response than anything. At AG1000. You can find me on my social media platform on Instagram. Obviously, you can come find me at Equinox, but for the most part, I'm an easygoing guy. You come find me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions or really just connect if you guys need help with anything.
He will say hello, guys.
And take the Ppsc with this man. He's extremely knowledgeable.
No, brother.
I'm going to Nebraska.
Yes. And you're going to see some real corn-fed people out there, boy.
That's right. December 12th, I'm going to Nebraska.
The land of deep fried butter.
Oh, man. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. No, brother, we really appreciate you coming on. And I want to hit you with some last burn round questions. But once again, man, I know a lot of these, you know, our audience and especially coaches are going to take a lot out of this. And guys, if you are in the Chicago area, if you ever think about moving to Chicago area and you're a coach looking to get your feet wet and want to start, you know, working with in-person people and you want to just learn from a great, you know, manager and a great foundation in education, definitely hit Arlen up. He'll take care of you. My brother, I'm going to hit you with some questions now. We're going to go through these. We'll fly through them like a burning round. So number one, what has been the favorite club that you have worked for in Equinox?
Favorite? Oh, guaranteed it would be Coral Gables.
Okay. Woo!
That was a lit crew. You guys had a lit crew down there for a long time.
It was pretty lit.
Yeah, Coral Gables. I gotta admit, I'm most impactful. I learned the most. It humbled me, 100%, hands down. Yeah.
Love it. If you had to pick one fitness tool and you can only train with that forever, which one would it be?
Oh, kettlebell.
There we go.
Boom.
I knew it. Mr. Strong First over here.
There we go.
Settle down. Settle down, guys. I've been barbell lifting. You can see me on Instagram. That's it. I'm tagging both of you guys.
Do it. Tag us.
That's it. Hashtag. I'm not using a kettle. That's gonna be the whole hashtag.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. The next one. What is the craziest, wildest experience you've ever experienced in your life?
Oh, please don't include me in this story. Please don't include me. Please don't include me in this story.
Craziest, wildest experience
in your life?
Oh man, that's an easy one.
Josh is in it or no?
No, thank God.
No, Josh is not in it. That comes a close second.
I'd fall under more of the dumbest things he's probably ever done in his life. You can include me in a bunch of those.
So, yeah, I mean, I got to admit, guys, like, you know, it was, you know, the time I almost died. You know, I almost got killed. You know, someone, you know, that I was great friends with at Equinox, unfortunately, you know, was undergoing some mental issues and some real anger issues. And I had to let him go. And when I let him go, he came back into the club and decided to kill whoever fired him. And that included me. And when he killed those two managers, I was training on the floor the day that I fired him. And he came in looking for me. And I didn't see him, but I heard the gunshots. And sure enough, when I heard gunshots, I ran out. And he ended up killing himself. So, you know, I got verbal confirmation, multiple people that he was looking for me. And I realized at that time that I was alive that I can't fuck this up, that I'm here for a purpose. I wasn't supposed to be here, you know, and I hope I'm impacting anyone I meet, just like this podcast right now. So I feel like that's by far the craziest shit that's ever happened to me, and I'm making it the most positive as possible.
I gotta say, I remember that day. I was working the floor at South Beach, and I remember seeing you, you know, maybe like a day later, and I couldn't let go of you, man. That hug couldn't have been any stronger.
Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't believe it. I remember that was literally 3 or 4 months after I left Gables, the club.
I remember that. I remember we had a talk on the floor, and that was the last time I spoke to you. And then I think you gave me a shirt. I think you gave me the Stronger Everyday shirt that now Gio has. That Gio took my shirt.
Which I told him, by the way. I told him.
He's a great guy, though.
No, he is. But I remember, man, when I heard that, it was just, you know, extremely crazy and shocking. I remember, like, just reaching out to everybody and making sure everybody was good. But, you know, sharing that, I know definitely when people have traumatic moments in their lives, sometimes, especially those, something like that's like targeted, or, you know, it's like, man, I wasn't supposed to be here kind of thing. It really gets to you. And I think you learn to appreciate life in a whole other different way, or go about your life in a different way. So I think I gotta say, I really appreciate you sharing that, because
thanks, man.
I know for all those out there who have had a moment like that, can really make them feel, you know, much more at ease, or make them realize, like, man, there's a reason why I'm here in this life today. And you saying that, I think, will impact a lot of people. Last thing, brother, what's the biggest piece of advice you can leave out to all our listeners today?
Biggest piece of advice is to be present in anything that you do, and not ask to be awesome. I think everyone's apologizing for their actions and their passion, and I feel like you need to be unapologetically awesome in all things that you do, and not ask for permission. And if you could do that, I think you start affecting the environment instead of the environment affecting you, and you'll just be the best version of yourself. 100%.
Absolutely love
there's not a single person I think I could say that does that better than you, honestly, man. You know, every time I've been around you, it's like, man, fucking Arlen, you know, like in all the best ways. Like, God, I love this.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we want to say one more time, thanks, Arlen, for coming on. Make sure you guys check him out. Make sure you go to one of his certifications with Ppsc. This dude is a legend.
Yeah.
Can't wait till we can see you in person.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Till next time, guys.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Later.